Today we sold a Ludwig vintage rocker boom stand. Now this thing is for drum sets. I am a musician. People who know me personally know that obviously, and I've dabbled a little bit in drumming. And so this came with the first acoustic drum set that I ever purchased. I purchased it many years ago on Facebook Marketplace, and I was just looking for something kind of affordable where I could kind of learn to drum on. But that was when I was living in a space where I thought I would be able to use it more frequently. And now that I'm in an apartment, it is very difficult to use a drum set, especially an acoustic one. And I did try to get, Remo solid stroke drum heads, of which, more drumming equipment I'm going to be listing on eBay soon. But drumming in an apartment on an acoustic set just didn't work out. But I did have this tremendous, awesome, very cool vintage set to kind of get rid of. I didn't want to get rid of it, but you got to do what you got to do. And I learned that I had something really quality on my hands, something that was true vintage, something that I think another drummer would really enjoy. And this particular part of the set that sold was for the crash cymbal. And one of my favorite parts about it was that it is just heavy. It is, a serious piece of metal. If you look at some of the more contemporary, newer drum sets that Ludwig is producing, or the cymbal stands rather, they're much lighter. It almost feels like if you bump it or if you hit the cymbal hard enough, the stand could tip over. But this thing is just heavy. It has a counterweight, so it is not going anywhere. And so you can play it, really hard. You can play the kit really hard and not worry at all about, anything tipping over. Just very stable, very quality, very, what you expect from a vintage piece of equipment. So, I wanted to make sure this thing got to the buyer in pristine condition. It had no rust. It was in really just mint condition, almost like, you walked out of the store in 1970 with it. But you can see here, I had this bubble wrap on hand. Again, I have pretty limited supplies for this kind of challenge, but I had a ton of bubble wrap laying around, and I wanted to make sure that this thing got to the buyer in mint condition. So I made sure to wrap it up very thoroughly. You can see me doing that here. I was a little bit worried about the part of the stand where you attach the cymbal. I was worried that could get dinged in shipping, so I doubled over the bubble wrap to make sure that it was not, there was zero chance that it got damaged in shipping. And I actually doubly padded the box for that reason as well. So I know this thing's gonna get to the buyer in mint condition, and they're gonna be super happy with it. I actually was kind of hoping to not have to get rid of this thing, but for the challenge and it just taking up space in my apartment, it made a lot of sense, and they offered me a really good price for it. So I was happy to part ways with it. You can see here, it's going in the box, sort of finalizing the packaging here. And obviously, you gotta make the buyer happy. So I wrote a personal note and made sure that the buyer knew that they were very much appreciated for this particular purchase. Now, this item was a heavy hitter, as it should be, and after all said and done, we earned $129.87. This brings us to $280 out of $4,699. I'm very excited that we are getting close to 1/10 of the way there. Stay tuned for more on this challenge.